Hello everyone, I want to warn you that everything on screen is something I do have to read through for lore, so please do keep in mind that, so hopefully you guys enjoy listening, and bye. And please go to this description if you want to know your forms of your breathing style, so please go do that if you want to know more. I had to write that all out, and it took me so long because I couldn't copy it from the Wattpad story. But holy moly, thank you guys for listening. The hashiras. After the hashiras had been dismissed, a tall figure rushed to catch up with a group of girls. Yin, the girl turned to the voice. Her eyes widened at the figure burling towards her. With long strides, the sound pillar grew closer and closer. Yin froze and began to panic. Say, what's with this mask? A large hand reached for the kabuki mask. Not knowing what to do, Yin's two fingers shot out and hit a spot on Uzui's shoulder. Immediately, his right arm went limp. However, it didn't deter him at all, as his other hand quickly tried removing her mask. Empty green eyes had narrowed at the hand that touched her mask, but before he could slip it off, a pale hand reached out over and gripped his wrist. With a vein slightly protruding from her forehead, Shinobu shoved his hand back. Mitsuri protectively hugged the hair-colored girl close to her chest while also taking the chance to rub against her. That's not very flamboyant, Shinobu-san. Uzui quit with a slight glare. Well, neither was that, Uzui-san. Please watch your manners. She is obviously uncomfortable with your bardness. Uzui huffed, glaring at the duo, his maroon eyes enforced on the masked girl, and his attitude changed. I just wanted to congratulate you on joining the hashiras. It was unflamboyant of me. Yin shook her head, still slightly shocked by the incident. See, she doesn't have a problem with it. Why don't we all have a flamboyant celebratory dinner? The girl shivered, and Mitsuri's hold had several eyes peered at her. That sounds wonderful, the flame hashira explained, grabbing his stomach. I do feel a bit starved. Although I'm fasting, I see no harm in accompanying you all to a meal. We must properly welcome our newest member, Guillaume rumbled. Only if we get to eat origiri, otherwise I'm not going, the wind pillar voiced out. Obanai glared at Mitsuri before quickly agreeing, while Michiro glared at the love pillar cuddling the hair-colored girl. As for the water pillar, he had long disappeared after they had dismissed. Yin wanted to decline, but so many people voicing their agreements, she felt she had to oblige. Shinobu sighed and looked at the girl buried within Mitsuri's arm. The insect pillar smiled at Yin a bit sheepishly, sensing her resilience. Well, let's go eat then. At the restaurant, the owner trembled upon seeing the large group of people that huddled around the small table. It was a Bristolian brunch. A few of the men spoke absurdly loud, while the waiter had waited to ask them what they wanted to eat. The group pushed a few of the small tables together to fit everyone. However, the small restaurant, it was all but one table that they used. Yin sat squeamishly in between the love pillar and the insect pillar. The sound pillar had claimed the seat in front of her. He was pinned between the flame pillar and the wind pillar, who constantly leaned over him to talk to each other. The mist pillar sat on one end of the table, while the stone pillar sat on the other end. The snake pillar sat, with some distance, next to the love pillar. Constantly, the water pillar was passing by and saw the rest of the pillars huddled together through the open window of the restaurant. He decided to sit at the last available table to join them, a bit insulted that he wasn't invited. The waiters struggled to receive their orders when the man constantly began to talk over each other, adding more orders while the others were still talking. Finally, Shinobu had enough. The girl had received all the orders together clearly all at once. Anything else that they had wanted to order had to be written down to give the waiter at a later time. The waiter let out a breath of relief. Moments passed before they finally retrieved their food. A plate of food was then placed in front of the hair-colored girl, who stared at it intensely. When she looked up, she noticed a few gazes looking at her expectingly. The most piercing gaze came from in front of her. The girl slowly brought her hand up to her mask and slowly lifted the bottom, revealing just her chin and luxurious lips. However, the girl stopped there, leaving a small spot for her to eat. Yin heard a chorus of disappointment sighs. Isn't it easier to just take the mask off? Uzui mustered, resting his cheek on the palm of his hand and watching her eat. Yeah, Sanmi agreed, his mouth full of food. Are you disfigured or something? He asked. Shinobu gasped and threw a chopstick at him, and it hit his forehead in the center, a small yelp escaping him. What is she? Sanemi huffed, rubbing his forehead. Everyone looked at the hair-colored girl that stopped eating. A heavy silence rolled over them, the silence that was so tense that Giyu had noticed it from the other table. It wouldn't matter if she wasn't, if she was or not. Have some respect and leave the girl alone. Sanemi scoffed. I was just curious, damn. Mitsuri grabbed Yin's hand and squeezed it, showing her support with a smile. Shinobu put a few pieces of meat on the hair-colored girl's plate, also offering a supportive smile. At the girl's actions, Yin felt her heart warm. Though they couldn't see it, the girl had a wide smile back before eating the food on her plate. Umai! Rengoku bursted, startling the waiters. The rest of the group continued to eat as well, constantly pricking the back of their minds. Not much has changed since Yen became a hashira. The girl occasionally went on missions, the majority of her time either at the butterfly estate or hanging out with Mitsuri. At the moment, the phoenix pillar was working on a new poison with the insect pillar. The two girls worked in harmonious silence. However, the sound of a door sliding and alerted the two had disturbed the atmosphere. Oh, well, if isn't I think it's Tokyo-kun. Or is it? No, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm bad with Japanese words. I just wrapped your bandage. Oh, it's, shit. I just wrapped your bandages early today. Don't tell me they unwrapped again. I made sure to tie it extra tight, Shinobu said, putting down the vial in her hands. He shook his head and slightly shifted his shirt, revealing a large gash across his torso. Oh my, how did this happen? Mission. I wasn't aware you were assigned a mission so soon. What training mission did you complete that was finished within mere hours? Training, I think. Shinobu's eyes squinted slightly, suspicious swimming in her purple irises. The insect pillar sighed and went to Michiru into a different room to treat him. However, as she motioned for him to follow, the mist pillar stayed rooted in his spot, eyes focused on the girl, mixing two liquids together. Michiru-kun, come on now. Michiru refused to move. Shinobu had to practically push him out of the door to get him to finally leave. As Michiru laid on the bed with Shinobu stitching his wounds up, he asked her, "How come she can't treat me?" The purple-eyed girl paused for a slight moment before continuing to weave the stitches through his skin. "Because she doesn't know how to treat wounds. I'm teaching her about poison, not medicine." "Oh." The rest of their time together was spent in silence. "There you go," Shinobu said as she finished applying the medicine and plaster. "Try not to move too much." Shinobu left right after, quickly rushing back to the girl as she left in the other room. Upon entering the room, Shinobu's eyes brightened. A smile that reached her eyes spread across her face and stared at the girl on the other side of the room. "Oh, you're back," Yin noted. The hair-colored girl nodded her head towards the knowledgeable before turning back to what she was working on. "Here, I'll help with that," the insect pillar offered, sliding up next to the girl. "Sure." They continued working together, the light atmosphere returning. Time flew by as the girls worked. After a while, Shinobu left to gather some herbs that they had been missing. Constantly, the Miss Pillar returned. Right after Shinobu left, with just the two of them, Yin was on edge. However, seeing the weakened state of the male, she began to feel a lot less threatened. The boy was leaning against the doorway, breathing heavily. His skin was pale and his lips almost a purple hue. He had sweat running down his forehead. "Are you okay?" "Ate poisonous flower." Immediately, the girl began to panic. Amidst her worry, she never thought to ask why he would eat one in the first place. "Gosh, can you describe the flower? Hold up. I'll find Shinobu-san." As the girl began to move, he stepped in front of her. "No," he shouted uncharacteristically. "Feel like might die." Yin bit her lip. Underneath the mask, filled with worry. "Then what did the flower look like? I might know the cure." "I can't remember." The girl threw her hands up in exhaustion. She placed a bit before looking up. "Well, there's only one poisonous flower that grows around this area." She searched the shelves before plugging out a vial. "Try this." The girl extended a hand out to give the vial, still maintaining a distance. However, Michiru, grasping her wrist, and brought her close, drinking the cure from her hand. While the boy started to look better, blood finally rushing to his face, the girl started to feel increasingly worse. Yin yanked her hand out of his grasp, clenching it to her chest. Michiru looked at her, noticing her distressed state. "Sorry," he apologized. Yin took a few deep breaths before straining herself. "That's all right. You were feeling pain. I understand." Luckily, her recovery time seemed to be a bit shorter than him. For Michiru, he couldn't help but enjoy the time she spent worrying over him. He felt as though it was worth suffering from the flower he had painstakingly searched for during the past couple hours. Hello, it's Taisho oh my god, secret time. Did you know that Michiru and Yin were in the same final selection? Which is maybe why he has a little liking to her. Thank you guys for listening. I'm sorry for the couple cuts. So the middle part that you can hear a cut, that part got completely corrupted, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want them listening to a 10 10, 50, I don't know how long, 10 minutes without any talking. So, yeah. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Bye, lovelies.